Right, welcome to the solution to exercise 2-5, located on page 51. The following costs and inventory data are taken from the accounting records of Mason Company for the year just completed. Bunch of stuff here. Required, number one, prepare a schedule of cost of goods manufactured in good form, and then number two, prepare the cost of goods sold section of Mason Company's income statement for the year. Okay, so let's do number one first. Mason Company. And obviously this is a key takeaway out of this particular lecture. You need to be able to create one of these schedules for the year ended, whatever the heck it was. Okay, so we will begin with the direct material section. And so this has all to do with the raw materials inventory and the raw material used in the production or the creation or completion of our production for the month or year in this case. So beginning raw material inventory. And according to the book, it says beginning of the year, $18,000. All right. So we're then going to add purchases. And 120,000 is what it tells us. And then we're going to subtract ending raw material inventory. And that was 12,500. Now, I will point out this is not a formal financial statement, so I haven't abbreviated yet, but I'm about to. As long as I understand what you're writing and it makes sense, then you're free to abbreviate. But do make sure you're using abbreviations that I've used. Okay, so this then the total here is going to be direct materials used in production over the course of the year, and that works out to 125,500. Okay, so that's the direct material that went into the production for the year. Next section is direct labor. And that we are told right off the top, $70,000. All right, 2 down, 1 to go. The 1 to go though is a little bit longer. Manufacturing overhead, also abbreviated as MO/H. Okay, and now we're just going to go down our list here. So indirect labor would be the first one we're going to record here. And 45,000. Maintenance on factory equipment. $6,000. Advertising expense. No, don't think that's a cost of production, so we're going to leave that one out. Insurance on factory equipment. 1,900. Sales salary is also not a cost of production, so we're going to disregard that. Rent on factory facilities, though. 24,000. Supplies. I think we're going to make the assumption that this is supplies used in production. It'd be nice if they gave us a bit more detail, but we'll just we'll make that assumption here. Supplies, 3,600. Depreciation office equipment, again, not really a cost of production, so no. But depreciation factory equipment, yes. And depreciation is synonymous with amortization. Uh, 17,000. Okay, so add all these bad boys up and you get total manufacturing overhead of 97,500. Okay, so we've got direct labor, so direct material, direct labor, and overhead. So our total manufacturing cost then can now be calculated. So-called costs. Add those guys up, and you get 293,000. Okay, so this is what we spent on manufacturing over the course of the month. But the schedule of cost of goods manufactured actually captures something slightly different. It captures what did you actually manufacture, as in finish, complete, over the course of the month. And so for that, to get that number, we've got to factor in the change in the work in process inventory as well. So to this 293, we're going to add beginning work in process inventory. And that was 10,300. And then we're going to subtract ending work in process inventory, 15,150. And I'm just going to put the brackets around there for emphasis. They're not strictly speaking necessary because we are saying less here, but anyway. And when we do the math, we then get a number of 288,150. And this would be total cost of goods manufactured. And I'm just going to put in here, actually I'll use a different color font for that, but you do not need to obviously write this in yourself. This is just for your own understanding of why this number is different from this total manufacturing cost. This is the cost of the goods that we completed or finished in the course of the month. Okay, so that's requirement number one. Requirement number two was prepare the cost of goods sold section for Mason Company's income statement for the year. So the cost of goods sold section is going to be beginning finished goods inventory, 23,000. Add cost of goods manufactured, and again we're adding this number here, 288,150, into finished goods, right? So now you understand why it's important to capture what we've completed in the month, not just what we spent on making stuff, but what we actually finished. And because we're adding it now to finished goods inventory, so we want to be able to track the dollars in the various different inventory accounts. Less ending finished goods inventory, and that was 18,100. Do the math, and you get 293,050, and this would be cost of goods sold for the month, or year rather, pardon me. And so that would be, either on the income statement if it was had all that sort of detail, or you just used, this would be the calculation to come up with the cost of goods sold amount for that for the income statement itself. That concludes the problem.